Hey everybody, Theresa here of Larkin Design, and welcome to a brand new project that I am beginning as of today. I'm so delighted to share this new project with you. I'm going to call it Letters to My Younger Self, and I'm going to create an album of layouts about my childhood. I'm working today with the Crepe Paper Fresh Bouquet collection, and I've already cut out a whole bunch of florals from one of the pattern papers in this collection. And then I'm just sharing with you some of the other products and embellishments in this collection. I have been such a long time fan of crepe paper and Maggie Holmes, and this collection is a very beautiful collection. The colors are very soft and muted. I seem to be going towards soft and muted color palettes lately. It also has a very fall feel to me. And the photo that I'm working with, you can see the chipboard here. The photo that I'm working with is, I'm thinking, is a photo of me from first grade. Which would have been 1979, 1980-ish. And what I did was I took the original photo and just snapped a photo of it with my iPhone and then printed that out at a smaller size. And that way I can keep the original. I recommend you always keep the originals when you're working with heritage photos like this. It's kind of hard to say heritage photo, but it's true. I'm 46 years old, and this was a long time ago. But I do want to keep the originals intact, and you really can get a good quality photo with your iPhone. You don't need an expensive scanner. Just photograph those and then edit as you like. Now, I did, when I edited the photo, or when I took the photo, for some reason there was a shadow at the top, and so that's why it looks a little bit lighter than the original. But for the sake of preservation and for the sake of moving forward, I'm going to go ahead and use this. And so the flowers that I have chosen here, they're on a pink background, which you can see in the cutouts. And they also have a little bit of this blue-gray in them that creates the shadows within those blooms. And it's interesting to me to go through the paper pad and see how those flowers look against some of the pattern papers that are in the collection. And I actually found the decision-making process to be a little bit challenging. I wanted to use that geometric pattern paper, but there's something weird about that paper. I'm not sure, that just didn't quite feel right. And so at this point in time, I have no idea in my mind how I want this layout to look. I don't have a sketch or a design in mind, and so I'm letting the product guide me here. And what I see happening is that I want the floral cutouts to be against the gray-blue background, and also have a second pattern paper. And those pink lines actually will make a great place for the journaling. So now my layout is starting to come together, and the ideas are starting to flow. And the reason I wanted to show you that whole process was to show you how simply narrowing down your choices to about 4 or 5 pattern papers, and then starting to figure out what looks good to you and what makes you happy will help you to pull that layout together without having any sketches, without scraplifting someone else, just simply creating what you feel like the product is telling you to create. And so I ended up choosing this second floral, this is all about the flowers in this layout. So this second floral here that still has that blue-gray background, but has a little bit of pink as well. And so I'm sort of playing here with a primarily blue-gray pattern against the flowers that are more white with a little bit of blue-gray in it. And then I also decided that there needed to be a little divider between both of these patterns, between the flowers and the stripe paper. So I cut a little strip of the green floral to layer over top of that stripe, just so that there's an edge there. It's sort of like the flowers are cascading over the wall. Sort of like we're playing here with patterns and having a really fun time with it. So now I have my basic layout design ready to go, and I can start tucking in these flowers and making them look like I want them to look. If you want to know more about how I fussy cut flowers like this, I will be sharing a tutorial on my Instagram, and that's going to be fun just to show you some of the basics of how I cut out these flowers so that they look good and so that I'm happy with them. And one thing that you can do when you're figuring out where to put them on your layout is you can always, cut them in half or cut them in thirds, so that they'll tuck in where you want them to, and then always bend up the leaves just a little bit, just to give it a bit more of that dimension and a bit more lift off of the page. And so I'm just going to do a row of flowers here next to this green strip, and then that's going to leave space for the photo itself on the left-hand side of the layout, and I will have plenty of space here for my journaling. And so my focus for this project is a part of healing. This is a very healthy and actually a really shows a lot of growth for me, which is kind of exciting to share that with you, but also allows me to revisit some aspects of my childhood in the sense of finding strengths, finding the good parts, and recentering back to a place where I can feel good about my childhood. And I want that for you guys as well, and it's why I wanted to share this, because I think that we all have some challenges that we faced growing up, and sometimes that can overshadow or can make us feel a little bit uncertain about whether we really want to document that, or whether do we really want to work on that in our creative process. And so my advice to you is to work through those difficult memories, work on healing your heart, and then you can come to this album or a project similar to this and have it actually be an affirming experience. And so what I decided to do was to write letters to myself, and I'm incorporating one of the powerful things about healing is that it allows you to get to know yourself better. And so rather than being a victim, you get to allow yourself to find your strengths, and you get to find the ways that you actually overcame some really difficult circumstances in a really powerful and profound ways. And you actually did that, And as you work through your healing, that will become clear to you. And so now this is an opportunity for me to reclaim myself, who I was as a child, and how powerful it was, what I was going through, and how I was coping with it. That even though there were some negative coping skills picked up along the way, no denying that, but I actually get to be proud of what I was facing and how I was handling it. It's a big shift. It's a big shift in healing, and if you're not there yet, stick with me. Stick with your healing. Stick with your therapy. Stick with your process, because you can do this too. And I believe that for you. I believe that you can come back around and feel proud, immensely proud of your childhood, or immensely proud of the difficult circumstances that you've gone through in your life. And memory keeping holds such an incredible power for that, but the healing has to come first. And the healing doesn't happen overnight. It's been many years of recovery and study and talk therapy and support for me personally. So I understand what this looks like, to go through to get to this point where you feel like you can document this from a healthy and positive standpoint. And so I'll read to you what I wrote here. And again, remember that I'm overlaying what I know about myself now. When I was 7 or 8, I didn't really know some of these things about myself. And now I know, and now I can imagine what it was like for me at that time, knowing what I know now. So here's what the journaling says. As I talk, I'm going to be adding the embellishments around the photo. So at the top of the page is the sticker that says Heartfelt, and that is also the title of the page. I didn't want a big, overwhelming title. I just wanted that to draw your attention to the top of the journaling. It says, "My dearest girl, I want you to know how absolutely charming you are. Your smile lights up the room, and you have more empathy in your heart than most. You carry all the challenges in the family on your shoulders, and I wish I could tell you how to let that go. I mostly wish it could be resolved so that the family could be at peace. I think you're pretty awesome. You love music and handwriting and your friends. You want to please your mom and dad, and I think they love you bunches. You are hearing other things that may make you doubt that, but I promise you this, I will love you and look after you forever." And then the label at the bottom says, "Remember this," and I have dated it. At the top, I wanted to date the journaling because I think that's significant in marking the shift here. I think that the date that I'm journaling is important in terms of my journey. And then what I'll do is date the photo on the label that I put underneath it. And then I was sort of working out here. I wanted to use this little flower paper clip because there aren't enough flowers on this layout yet. And so I clipped a little tag and another little strip of patterned paper underneath there so that would hold the clip in place. And then I also tucked a couple more of these flowers around the photo as well, just to help it be a part of the layout and help it flow into the cascade of flowers on the right hand side. And it was fun. It was fun just to tuck these leaves in and just to glue paper down. Is incredible amount of joy in just gluing paper down. And then I felt like there was still something missing above the photo. And maybe other more experienced graphic designers could explain to me why I felt like there was still something missing. You saw me just add the date there, and I'm going to add a little chipboard piece that says "From the Heart." But still something at the top missing. I didn't know if I wanted to do like a banner at the top of the page or how I wanted to deal with that. So that's what I'm sort of thinking about here. There was a butterfly, a die cut butterfly that I'm considering, but I wasn't sure how that would go in. You can see that little butterfly here. And I really want to include that, and I'm trying to figure out how to make it make sense. Because when I put it to the left of the photo, it sort of stood out in a weird way. But I kind of like it there. I kind of like it next to the flowers. But this still needs to be a little something next to that paper clip. I feel like I feel like that paperclip is kind of floating by itself. I can't really explain why that is. I feel like it needs to be something dimensional. I didn't want to put a flat sticker there. Funny how these little decisions become bigger decisions. And then I figured out that this cute little pink bird will help to give that flower clip a little bit of company there. And then I went ahead and adhered the butterfly, and this layout is complete. Thank you so much for joining me for this process. It has been an honor to share this with you, and I hope that you will check out the layout on our blog at larkindesigntm.com. See you back here again soon. Bye-bye.